going to discuss about animal tissue. Animal tissue classified into epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. So first I will discuss epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue also known as epithelium. Now this is classified into simple epithelium, stratified epithelium, ciliated epithelium and glandular epithelium. Simple epithelium unilayered, stratified epithelium multilayered, epithelial tissue with cells having cilia, epithelial tissue which secretion and storage. This is glandular tissue. Now simple epithelium, squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium. You can see the structure of squamous epithelium. These cells are scale-like, plate-like on the surface. Present in the blood vessels, lining of the alveoli, helps in diffusion of gases, then in the blood vessels helps in diffusion of substances from blood to the cells and protection also. Then cuboidal epithelium, you can see the structure, cube-like and centrally placed nucleus. This is placed on a membrane. This is called the basement membrane or pavement membrane. The cells are present in kidney tubules, function, absorption, excretion, secretion. Then columnar epithelium, the cells are column shaped. You can see the shape is elongated than the cuboidal epithelium. And here the nucleus is centrally located. Here the nucleus is located towards the basement membrane. Columnar epithelium is present in the lining of the stomach and intestine, function, absorption, secretion. Then we have stratified epithelium. That means the cells are arranged in layers. There are many layers, as you can see in skin. In skin we have 3 layers, that is stratum corneum, stratum granulosum, stratum malpighi. It forms a multi-layered structure. The main function is protection, that is against the environment. It is protecting the underlying tissues from the outer environment. Now then ciliated epithelium, that means the cells with cilia. Now there are 2 types, one is called cuboidal epithelium, ciliated cuboidal epithelium, ciliated columnar epithelium. Just I am drawing the diagram, you will understand how it looks. If I draw a cell like this, then here is the nucleus and the cilia are present like this. This cilia, this undergoes movement, monochronous movement, synchronous movement. They move in one direction only and helps in taking the materials from one side to the other side. This is the function of cilia. If it is present in trachea, then helps in taking away the dust particles to the cilia, to the nasal cavity like this. And if it is present in the fallopian tube, helps in pushing the ovum towards the uterus. Then ciliated columnar epithelium. This is present in the respiratory tract and fallopian tube. I told what is the function. Then comes glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium, that means the cells in glandular epithelium, they help in secretion of various chemical substances. It also helps in synthesis of the chemical substances. These are present in the endocrine gland, sebaceous gland, salivary gland, etc. Now I am going to discuss about connective tissue. Connective tissue, 2 types, connective tissue proper and special connective tissue. Connective tissue proper, loose and dense type. Under loose connective tissue, areolar tissue and adipose tissue. Areolar tissue, binding tissue, packing tissue, that means it helps in binding different tissues and organs together. Then adipose tissue, fatty tissue, it helps in storage of fat. That means mainly it is present in the adipose layer of the skin. That adipocytes, that means the fat storing cells. They look like ring shaped structure. We call it a signet ring structure. Mainly in some of the animals, blubber is there. That means the thick fatty tissue which acts as insulating layer. Okay. Now under dense, 2 types, white fibrous tissue, yellow fibrous tissue. Very, very important difference between tendon and ligament. Tendon and ligament, very, very important difference. Now dense white fibrous tissue, yellow fibrous tissue. Tendon white fibrous tissue, ligament, yellow fibrous tissue. Tendon connects muscle to bone. Tendon connects muscle to bone. Ligament connects bone to bone. This is very important. Muscle to bone. Tendon connects muscle to bone and ligament connects bone to bone. Then next we have the special connective tissue. Under special connective tissue, two types: skeletal tissue and fluid connective tissue. Skeletal or supportive connective tissue, fluid connective tissue. Under skeletal connective tissue, there are two types. One is called cartilage and one is called bone. Cartilage, this is compact, firm, non-porous, devoid of nerves and blood vessels. It is present in the pinna, at the end of the bones. It provides flexibility. Then bone. Bone is rigid, hard, brittle. It is porous. Nerves present. It forms the skeletal framework of the body and also helps in supporting or protection of the delicate organs. Cartilage, the cells are chondrocyte. Bone cells are osteocyte. Cartilage, protein present in cartilage, chondrine. Protein present in bone, ossein. Next, we have fluid connective tissue, that is blood and lymph. Blood is red fluid connective tissue and lymph is straw colored fluid connective tissue. Blood is red due to the presence of hemoglobin in erythrocytes, that is red blood corpuscles. Now in blood there are two actually elements are there. That means composition of blood contains plasma and corpuscles. Corpuscles T type, RBC, WBC platelets, RBC red blood corpuscles, WBC white blood corpuscles, platelets also called thrombocytes. Now RBC erythrocytes, WBC leukocytes. Erythrocytes, that is RBC biconcave, WBC amoeboid, platelets disc shape. RBC devoid of nucleus in the matured state. That means it is enucleated. WBC nucleated. Platelets devoid of nucleus. RBC, as it contains hemoglobin, so helps in transporting oxygen. WBC fighting against disease germs, and platelets helps in blood clotting. Then we have fluid connective tissue. Fluid connective tissue, lymph. Lymph contains only plasma and WBC, that's why the color is straw color. Now as WBC is present in the lymph, that's why it fights against disease germs. The main function is fighting against disease germs. WBC also contains two types, that is granulocytes or granulocytes, granulocyte, neutrophil, basophil, eosinophil, and under agranulocyte there is lymphocyte and monocyte. Main function, neutrophil helps in phagocytosis. Main function is always fighting against disease germs, either through engulfing or by producing antibodies, producing heparin, producing histamine, serotonin, whatever may be. Monocytes main function phagocytosis, lymphocyte main function antibody production. So whatever may be, WBC is always helping to fight against disease germs. So this is what we have in connective tissue. Now I will discuss muscular tissue. Muscular tissue, three types: striated muscle, smooth muscle, cardiac muscle. Striated muscle, this you can see the stripes are present. It is also known as striped muscle. This is unstriped or unstriated cardiac muscle, stripes present. Now striated muscle multinucleate, smooth muscle uninucleate, cardiac uninucleate or multinucleate. Striated muscle voluntary, smooth muscle involuntary, cardiac muscle involuntary. Striated muscle, this is unbranched, smooth muscles unbranched, cardiac muscle branched. Striated muscle gets fatigue, smooth muscle gets fatigue, cardiac muscle never gets fatigue. Then in case of striated muscle, you can see the stripes are present. This is multinucleate, and smooth muscle spindle shaped. The shape is, this is cylindrical, this is spindle shaped, this is also cylindrical. This is present in limbs, all voluntary, where the voluntary functions takes place. That means we can move the hand like this. So these muscles are present in our hand, limbs, forelimbs, hind limbs, tongue. Smooth muscle in the visceral organs, stomach, intestine, these muscles are present. Cardiac muscle is present in heart. So what I discussed, that striated muscle cylindrical, spindle shaped cylindrical, stripe, unstriped, multinucleate, uninucleate or multinucleate. Then this is voluntary, this is involuntary, unbranched, branched. This gets fatigued, this never gets fatigued. So this is what we know about the muscle. Now I will discuss nervous tissue. It is a highly specialized tissue which consists of basic units called nerve cells or neurons. Now each nerve cell mainly consists of dendrite, cyton, axon. The main function of this is to transfer impulses from the receptor to CNS, from CNS to effector. This is the main function. Now we can see here dendrite. Dendrite are the branches which helps in receiving impulse, transmit it to the axon through cyton. Next, I have drawn here a myelinated nerve fiber. You can see myelin sheath, then the covering is called the neurilemma, then the space where the myelin sheath is not present, that is called swan. This is called the node of Ranvier, and the lining, that is the membranous covering, that is called neurilemma, and then nucleus of swan cell. Then terminal branches of axon. So axon helps in transferring impulse to the next neuron, and dendrite helps in receiving impulse from the previous neuron. That means it receives impulse and axon transmits impulse to the next neuron. This is the function of neuron. Like this, number of nerve cells together make one ganglion. Number of ganglion, ganglia. Number of nerve fibers together is equal to a nerve. Like this, we can see the total nervous tissue and then the nervous system, which is made up of brain, then spinal cord, nerves. Nerves also different types like peripheral nervous system, autonomic nervous system, peripheral nervous system, the spinal nerves, cranial nerves, and autonomic nervous system, that is the sympathetic nerves and the parasympathetic nerves. Like this, we can again divide the nervous system into different organs and tissues. Okay, thank you.